How's it going, everybody? So, big news today. I didn't plan on posting an episode this afternoon, but via Adam Schefter, we have the breaking news that Tom Brady is retiring from football after 22 seasons of championships and winning a whole lot of games, obviously stepping away as pretty much the undisputed GOAT of the National Football League and the sport of football. Based on what he's accomplished throughout his NFL career, obviously 7 Super Bowl championships, 6 with the New England Patriots, and then that seventh ring coming back in 2021 when he transitioned into the Tampa Bay Buccaneers situation. But here we are, Tom Brady stepping away from football. It's only right that I make a video here to at least give you a quick glimpse into the 2022 possibilities for this football team, because this situation just got a whole lot more fascinating. Obviously, dynasty owners of anyone in that Tampa Bay Buccaneers offense now have an entirely new situation being presented to them, and I think that this team, from the coaching staff all the way down, is going to look a whole lot different next year. Just right off the bat, losing a quarterback, the caliber and with the ability of Tom Brady, all the things that he brought to the table for this team, it's going to be irreplaceable. And right now, they do not currently have a great quarterback lined up to step in and take over this team and this organization. It's going to probably be a very bumpy 2022 season the way that things look right now, unless something very drastic occurs and there's a major shift to the resources that Tampa Bay has to acquire their next signal caller for this franchise. Right now, they've got Kyle Trask on the roster, who they selected with the last pick in the second round of the 2021 draft. So they do have a young face in the room that they could potentially turn to be definitely not the savior for this organization, because this is a very loaded roster still, a very talented team. But again, you're pretty much taking a step off a cliff here at the quarterback position because of what Tom Brady represented to this franchise, how quickly he was able to turn them around from being, the Succaneers and this completely average franchise that actually, I believe, has the most or the highest losing percentage in any pro sports team prior to Tom Brady's arrival. So he was a huge culture changer for this locker room. He did a lot of things, not only from, you talk about walking in day one, winning a Super Bowl championship with the Buccaneers, but then having the, not necessarily power over the locker room, but the influence to retain all 22 starters on the offensive and defensive side of the football from 2020 to 2021, that is, and just the sheer impact he had on this franchise and this locker room. So this brings up a lot of questions. Obviously, we've got Mike Evans, who is the wide receiver who has more of a long-term hold and connection to this team, with his contract status not being really in play right now. But one wide receiver who does have huge question marks looming now for dynasty owners is that of Chris Godwin. He played under the franchise tag this season and then tore his ACL against the Saints this year. So he's looking at a long-term recovery timeline. I think that now with Tom Brady's departure, the fact that the quarterback room looks increasingly questionable here for this team, and the fact that there are so many unknowns for what 2022 will provide, I think the chances that Godwin is in a new uniform next season have instantly vaulted up at this moment in time. Again, Tampa could do something drastic, something extreme, and figure out a way to get another high-end quarterback. I mean, this is completely far-fetched to say right now, but I think that, you could, in terms of the roster and the team they have built and currently constructed, now they do have impending free agents and whatnot, but you look at some of the star quarterbacks who could be on the move this offseason. I'm not going to get any specifics, but you've got Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, and whatnot. This is a structure that could potentially fit one of those guys, but I think that that's a little bit on the less likely side due to the fact that this team already went through one of those major transitions in the last 2 years. The fact that they are kind of, it seems like with their coaching staff and the direction those guys are headed, a lot of them are going to get new opportunities. And I'll talk about that in just a second here. It seems like this is going to be a transition period for Tampa as opposed to a smooth transition into another period of dominance here. So you've got Mike Evans. Again, I think that he's probably going to be the one player who is definitely tied to this team long term. But then Chris Godwin is someone who I expect the team to either let walk in free agency. They could get him at a discounted price because of that injury, but again, I would not be shocked to see him move on to elsewhere. As for the running back room, I think that that's something that is a little bit hard to project out at this point in time because we don't know what things are going to look like again with their new signal caller under center for this team next year. But I'm not too worried about that position at this point in time. Again, this is a brief, immediate update, and I'll be diving into much more information in another video soon to come. So click the subscribe button if you're new around here for that episode. Turn the bell on so you're notified for all new episodes and videos. We post Dynasty content here on the SFS channel all off season long, as well as some other great stuff on our social media. Stay tuned for NFL prop bets, and I'm betting against the spread for this weekend's games. That'll be coming later on this afternoon and tomorrow morning. But back to this episode. The next big name is Gronk, and Rob Gronkowski previously said a short while back that if Tom were to retire, he would consider returning to the Buccaneers team in 2022. However, of course, now that that is officially the circumstance he finds himself in, I find that much more likely. I think that if you were to ask me, if Gronk is going to play in 2022, I find it more likely he would find a new organization to play for. I think that Rob Gronkowski can be a fantastic option for a team that has an elite quarterback already at play. And again, we don't really know what Kyle Trask is at the NFL level. He doesn't have very many snaps under his belt, or really any snaps for that matter, because Tom Brady has been commanding this offense and obviously having everything under control, not missing games, and being widely available for this team. But there is that big unknown factor. He does have some nice strengths. He's got a big arm. He does have some intangibles that he brings from the college level. But again, he has next to no experience, and he is a rather raw prospect at this point in time. So finally, I'm going to talk a little bit about the coaching situation, the coaching staff, and the impact I see that playing on this team. And that's the fact that all three of your major coaching hires, your head coach and the two coordinator positions, the offensive and defensive coordinators, I think now all have question marks, even more increasingly so than they did just an hour ago, per se. We already knew that Todd Bowles and Byron Leftwich were receiving head coaching interviews and were having the potential that their name was being tossed around in job offers for other NFL franchises to be the top dog in leading those organizations, at least from a player perspective. But now I think Bruce Arians, in his later age, the fact that you go back to last season and BA had some retirement rumors surrounding him, the fact that there was questions as to whether or not BA would return for the 2021 season. I think I keep saying my years wrong, so I apologize for that. I think I've said 2022 a few times, referencing next season when I actually meant to say 2021. But BA is a guy who, again, after the 2020 season, heading into the season that we just finished up here, there were questions about whether he would be available for this team. And BA is a coach who has already been known to delegate a large portion of his responsibilities to those coordinator and position coaches, and he tends to take things pretty easy going. So I don't see BA as a guy who wants to go through a rebuild. Again, he is getting into the later stages of his coaching career, and just the personality that I have kind of assessed him to have is that I get the impression that BA would do a pretty nice job relaxing on the beach as a retired football coach. So I think that with Tom out of the situation, that now presses the issue of BA's involvement with this team going forward, again, because knowing how hard it is to fill the quarterback position in the National Football League, it's not something that's likely to be fixed overnight and something that's likely to be, able to be assessed in a short period of time. So Tom Brady, congratulations on a fantastic NFL career. I would say, in my opinion, he is the greatest of all time, and I think you have a pretty tough time debating that. Again, 7 Super Bowl trophies, 6 of them with the Patriots, 1 with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Nearly executed another one of those ridiculous comebacks, down 27-3 against the Rams this past weekend, and got it back to 27-all before the Rams were able to walk that one off and win 30-27. But again, congrats, Tom Brady. It's been a fantastic lifetime of watching him play football. I will certainly miss him out there on Sundays, and best of luck to him and whatever he does next. And I guess now he's given us a lot of content to talk about this offseason, so We'll be diving into the Buccaneers a lot more again. Click that subscribe button, turn the bell on. If you're new around here, join the SFS community Discord. If you've got questions for me, you can chat with other members of the Discord about the Tom Brady news, what you make of it, and all that good stuff. The invite to that is in the description of today's episode. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'll see you next time. Peace out.